Cults. We have cults now.
Just a quick disclaimer, I was given a review code for the game, however all thoughts and opinions are my own. Welcome to my first impressions of REDFALL. I take a more casual approach to games. I like to focus on story, having a nose around so I can hoard every possible bit of loot, and music and sound design are important to me. Everything you see in this video is my own game footage. My graphics card is a 1070, which is within the minimum specs, and I played on medium settings. So if your PC is still on the lower end of the spec like mine is, it's still playable and enjoyable. REDFALL is an open world shooter where you're fighting your way through cultists and vampires to help survivors and eradicate the vampire threat. There's a lot to explore, and a good mix of side quests to help survivors and unlock safe houses, as well as plenty of main story quests to work your way through. The weapons are pretty standard for an FPS, pistols, shotguns, rifles. They all feel good to shoot, and the sound design ties in well with that feeling. For example, the headshot noise is really satisfying and makes me actually want to try and get them, rather than running in headfirst and panic shooting everything. An interesting part to the guns is some come equipped with a vampire staking bayonet. As you cannot just simply shoot a vampire to death, you must finish them off with a stake to the heart. There are also a few extra weapons, such as the stake launcher and the UV beam to help fight vampires specifically. I really underestimated how useful the UV beam was, and boy can it get you out of trouble when you're being attacked by a large group of vampires. The first time I encountered a large group of them, I was very overwhelmed and died almost immediately. However, once you utilize guns such as the UV beam and the stake launcher, you soon become a pro at taking them down. The vampire fights are done well, their movement is fluid, they teleport around but it's not too unpredictable to the point where it's annoying, and the finisher stake execution of the vampires is really satisfying. They aren't the hardest fights by any means, even the mini-bosses feel like they could have a bit more weight behind them, but they do hit hard so you can get yourself into some sticky situations. There's a variety of different types to fight. Vampires with different buffs, mini-bosses, even ones the vampire gods send your way because they're tired of you causing chaos. It really is just a nice change to your standard human NPCs running around. I also love the look of the vampires in this game. I'll admit I have not played many, if any, vampire games, but I love the unique take and look of them, and it's one of the things that first piqued my interest in the game. Now, the story isn't super heavy when you take it at face value, and there's not much of a connection with the people around you. My biggest con is there's actually very little interaction with the other people at the main base. They interact with each other, which your characters sometimes take part in if you watch them talking, but I don't really feel like I'm part of a settlement with them. It's very Fallout-esque, where they just stare at you and say the odd thing every now and then, and I have no real connection with any of them. But there are so many notes and audio snippets around to find which fleshes out the world and the lives of the people as the town was taken over. There are many mysteries to uncover, and anyone who really likes to dive in and search every nook and cranny for extra notes and lore to really build the world would enjoy. The music does a good job at setting the mood. That, along with the sound design, gives the game the right amount of eeriness without making it feel like a horror game. I am not one for scary games at all, however it does well at keeping me on edge but not uncomfortable. Some of the tracks are a bit repetitive, but they are still really good at getting you immersed in the game. The only bad point for me with the music is that it instantly ends when you're not in combat anymore, so it removes that tension when you're sneaking around wondering are there still any enemies about, and gives you a more of a, oh, okay, we're done here feeling. So, I am not someone who often replays games. Once I've played through a storyline, I don't generally like to go back and play through it again. There are other characters to play, and each of them have different abilities. However, the story stays the same as far as I could tell, just different voice lines, so it's not something that would really draw me in personally to play multiple times. Playing with friends, however, means you can team up abilities, and I would definitely replay with friends. However, 2 seems like the perfect amount. With the map size and how much there is to do, 4 people seems like it might be a bit too chaotic for how I like to play. Overall, I've really enjoyed playing the game so far. I haven't completed it yet, but it definitely feels more casual than I was expecting. There are harder difficulties available. I played through on Dusk, which is the medium difficulty, and I'm not sure how these harder ones affect the game, but I think that maybe even I would do okay with the slightly harder mode Midnight. I'm not inexperienced with FPS games by any means, I just don't play them often, and I prefer playing them on medium difficulties for a more casual playthrough. I am looking forward to playing more and starting a new 2-player run through. If you want to see more gameplay, then I will be streaming it on my Twitch channel over the next few weeks. Thank you for watching my first thoughts on Redfall, and let me know down below what you think of the game so far. If you're not thinking of picking it up, what's stopping you, and what do you think could be changed to sway your decision? Catch you next time. Bye!
Eva? It's Layla.
You cleared out a safe house? Good on you. And it's not too much to ask. There's more you can do